Well, as you join us, a remarkable piece of bike riding here. Yet again, Claudio Chiappucci deciding that he would go on the attack. We haven't seen much of this chap so far, but it's a fair old ride as far as he's concerned, because the 3 men up in front, less than 1 minute ahead of him. So Claudio Chiappucci launching himself from this group of riders. He said it'd been too fast so far in the Tour to attack. Well, he's doing just that, but they've been travelling today at close on 30 miles an hour ever since we left Evreux this morning, well, mid-afternoon actually, at 1 o'clock it was. And soon after the start on this stage of 158 kilometres from Evreux to Amiens on stage 6 of the Tour de France, we went over the third category climb where Cassani was first, followed by Simon and Doja, that's D-O-J-W-A, hope I pronounced it right. He was in third place. And as they went over the top, then suddenly all hell let loose, and off the other side, Durand attacked. Jackie Durand, the champion of France, well known for his escape artist attack when he took the Tour of Flanders last year. Well, he went away and quickly marked by Steve Bauer, followed by Van Zelle from the GB team, who was desperately keen to keep an eye on anybody that went away in the interests of Cipollini, who started this morning on general classification some 2 seconds in arrears. So the three riders sped away down the other side of the climb. It was only a short little drop, and there they stayed, and they built up the lead as they went. After 15 kilometres, the lead of the three riders, Durand, Bauer and Van Zelle, was 1 minute and 30 seconds. By 37 kilometres, they'd gone to a maximum of 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Look how the peloton is splitting now. That attack of Chiappucci's has broken the field. There's a lot of blokes, by the way, blasted out the back at the moment. Prudencio Indurain, that's the brother of Miguel Indurain, who crashed yesterday, is off the back together with Jean-Francois Bernard, who's also struggling off the back. So the Benestos, the cracks are showing in the armour of that almighty team from France. That's right, from Spain. So Benestos struggling somewhat. They're also down to 8 men, because this morning Gamandia of the Benesto squad did not start the race, so Indurain is now down to an 8-man squad. And what a chase we've got here at the moment. There, Stefano Collage, who finished was it 5th yesterday, now hanging on for grim death onto the back wheel of another of the Arrow-Steer pilots. This is Rolf Jarman at the front at the moment. Well, Arrow-Steer is always firing men off, and they certainly did just the right thing on that first climb of the day when Cassani took the climb, but they didn't move with the action when Durand, Bauer and Van Zelle went off. Let's say after some 37 kilometres, the lead, 5 minutes and 30 seconds. After 54 kilometres, it started to come down though, 4:35. By 64 kilometres, 10 kilometres later, 4 minutes and 20 seconds. And then just 5 kilometres later, at 69 k's, 3 minutes 40. And then they really turned the wick up as they hammered into Beauvais. And by the 63 kilometre point, the gap had come down to 1 minute and 23 seconds. And here we are now with 46 kilometres to go. And the last time check we had, it was down less than 1 minute. So the hammer is down now, and the bunch is splitting. They've got quite a nice day. The sunshine here, some 21 degrees. They've had following wind most of the way. Just pausing there to hear the news coming in on the radio of the gap between that leading group and this long string of riders. And looking down in there, there's quite a lot of star men have got stuck back in that second group. It really has been a war of attrition today, and to a large extent the work being put in by the Novamail team. They did everything to pull back that gap. They're the people, I said it dropped suddenly from about 3.5 minutes at around about 70 kilometres. Suddenly it dropped and now it's down to less than 1 minute, and that was very much due to the team from Peter Post and Walter Plancart, because they really hammered off the front. See the blue and white stripe, or blue and yellow stripe down there with the red sleeves on them? Well, that was the team, Novamail, who really got on the front and grafted like crazy. We're looking now at Charlie Motte Breakaway, who says he's getting better every day in this race. He's the virtual leader of the team because he's come back in after a tragic accident in the Paris-Nice earlier this year when he was off his bike for an awful long time, and right now lying in 12th place overall on general classification. And he said the team's whole objective right now is to hang on to that yellow jersey that Nelson got yesterday in that superb sprint into Evreux when he went into second place, and Cipollini didn't get any bonuses at all. Still the Yaman on the front for Ariasteer, and Stefan Kalaj just behind him. Kalaj finishing yesterday in, just checking, in 5th place, in fact, behind Maximilian Schiandri of the Motorola team, who was 4th. Ferigato of Ariasteer, who was 3rd. Nelson 2nd. So it's down now to 42 seconds, the gap. It really is coming back bit by bit after the pressure of the Histor Novamel laser team. Just looking down there, we might be able to see the 3 escapers. We haven't had a good look at them recently. Let's hope we go back up to them because they've done a great job so far. Went away after 4 kilometres being covered, and now with some, what, 40-odd kilometres yet to go towards the back end of the race, 46 or so. They've covered 112 kilometres at this point, so the leading riders have been out there for 108 kilometres. That's over 60 miles at Bauer, who of course is another escape artist, by the way, because in 1990 he took off in the Tour de France and managed to go away with Chiappucci and Maassen, together with Pansek, and all of them except Maassen eventually wore the yellow jersey for a various number of days. Pansek it was that in fact took it over on his birthday, which was a nice little present for him, I suppose. Here we are, the chase at Benesto, trying to marshal their somewhat scattered forces on behalf of Miguel Indurain, who, looking down the general classification right now, is still nicely poised. He's 1 minute and 38 seconds back overall in general classification. And there he is, number 1, lying just off the front of this little group. He also crashed yesterday. I presume you may have got the news, but he said that he couldn't always stay near the front. 107 on the far side there for the TVM team is Danny Nelson, together with Martin Den Bakker. Looking down to this crowd here of riders, they're all now getting back together again, so perhaps they're just keeping our leading 3 out on a bit of a string, and I wonder if they're going to put the hammer down and try and pull them back when we come back to after this short break. There we are, group chasing him. It's less than a minute to the 21 seconds. We're watching a furious chase by the Novamel team, because a group of, what, 2, 4, 6, 7, about 8 riders are out in front right now. Looking back down the field for the yellow jersey and the green jersey, the 2 sprinters will be looking to coast in there. Bugnot going through in the middle of that little group as well. Lampignon on the far side for Gatorade rides, the same team. They got 1 man out in that break, Perron. The speed has really shot up now. One of the GBMG riders has gone across into that leading group, so that's why it's Museo that's made his break at the front. And this is the chase going on with Histor Novamel laser. Yakimov looking back right now, and so only around about 17 seconds or so at the moment, the little group away at the front, but you can see the dangers set in right now. And we understand that Jean-Francois Bernard is well and truly blown off the back as well. So it's great disappointment for the Benesto team to lose one of the strong men, and they already this morning, one of their rides didn't start. Gamandia also struggling off the back. We heard last was Prudencio Indurain. Looking down there at that little group of riders, well, there's not much in it, and they're well and truly in sight. So in there, Brunel, Museo, Perron, Boyer, Nelson and Girotto. And this is a little group then with just that slender lead on the rest of the group. Peter de Klerk in there, it's 11 seconds now. Peter de Klerk 173. Actually, Peter de Klerk, he's got his crash hat on now, but if he took it off and he had a look at the back of his head, he's had his whole of his head shaved, leaving just a sort of stubble, a real close crop job. And in the back of his head, he's had the Tour Eiffel, the Eiffel Tower. He's had it actually cut in. You know, they can make shapes and draw letters and things in. The young lads often have their little initials or something in the side of their head, or draw a heart with an arrow going through or something. They're desperate in love. Well, he's actually got the Eiffel Tower, Tour Eiffel, on the back of his head, neatly done, with 20 kilometres to go. And that, of course, is a signal from Peter de Klerk of the Lotto team that he's hoping to get to the finish in Paris. And I suppose all the rest of the riders who can see him in front of them, they probably think they're already there, looking at the hair that's being cut away. Got a novel, just shows it. Hello, it's split. That has blown straight in two pieces, and it's only 8 seconds gap at the moment. Look at the way those riders spread out. And the yellow jersey is in the back group, and one of his riders is in front of him now, the team, and there's a polka dot jersey just up in front as well. Cassani leading on the King of the Mountains for Ali Ostia, and just behind him then for the Festina team, Pasqualino. And he's got to do a lot of work, this rider, from the Nomel team to try and get the way. There's Eddie Bowmans, who's been back with his countryman Wilfried Nelson, still Lino for Festina, the watch manufacturer from Spain. Good picture of him there, driving along hard. And where's the yellow jersey? Where is the green? Amazing if he's up in the front group, and Nomel at the front of this one. Look now, all the blue jerseys are riding themselves into oblivion, and their leader is off the back of that group. And this, I suppose, is some of the reasons when they managed to get radio contact through to riders. And I see Bunyo moving up as well, so perhaps he's recognised that the leaders drifted off a bit, and he might try and sort of stir things up. And Perron for the Gatorade team going after Johan Brunel. Brunel off on the front now, the Lotto rider. And here Perron for Gatorade, hammering after him. Well, it's every man for himself today, isn't it? Man the lifeboats, here we come. Obviously he's got the opportunity of Brunel to go and show himself at the front. He lives obviously the Belgium, 6 overall, 51 seconds, so they won't let him get too far away, but very much, I suppose, on ground that he knows. These Belgians know all the north of France and Belgium. And one of the riders in the main field at the moment, riding for Gan Capel, he's actually going almost home, because the finish line today will be in 2 kilometres, within 2 kilometres of his house. So he's a local man going very much home. We haven't seen much of him so far, but Christophe Capel for the Gan team, riding in his first Tour de France. He was saying that how much he's watching and admiring Gilbert Duclos-Lassalle, because Gilbert has been obviously the guardian, the mentor of the Gan team since Le Mans hasn't started this year. Still driving him out to the figure in the distance. Look at that, the long roads. It really takes an Iron Man to decide to go and have a crack at this one. See in the distance there, all the press cars, all the motorised vehicles up in front, and behind, of course, the motorised vehicles of the director sportives and the officials. And while they're rattling away here, I hope you don't mind it, but I'd like, as we're going up into battlegrounds of days gone by, to repeat that piece from Jeffrey Nicholson's Le Tour book, published by Hodder and Staunton. And I'll read it to you now as this race goes on here. The Tour de France moves across the land like an invading army. Its small, cracked bicycle battalions sandwiched between two motorised divisions. The roads ahead were cleared to prevent resistance, and the population turned out to welcome with banners and buntings. And that's what it is then. This is the Tour de France on familiar territory as far as the major cycling nations are being concerned, because France and Belgium for so many years have dominated the sport, although it's beginning to change quite a bit now, and the battle's raging thick and fast. Great bike racing at high speed, and still, as Garotto has come up, the Italian, joined up with Perron. What a big, strong fellow this Garotto is. Steamrolled away last year in the at Leeds, the Wincanton Classic, now taken over by the Leeds Council to win that one, which went 2 laps up the big climb of Home Moss. Again, the races will be over. Taking part in the next round of the World Cup in Great Britain when the Leeds Classic takes place. And the Leeds Classic, says he, flicking through his diary here, and I hope I don't drop and lose this one, otherwise I shall never know where the hell I am. That's going to take place on Sunday the 15th of August, and anybody up in the north wants to go out and see a lot of these top riders you're watching today in the flesh, and that's the place to be up in Leeds on the 15th, because the Kellogg's race starts on the 9th of August and goes through until the 13th, and with the many of the riders staying over for the Leeds Classic, we're going to see these riders in action on British soil. Sorry to all you people again, I have to apologise to other English listeners who are not in the UK, because there's something like 40-odd million homes across Europe can receive satellite television, and our audience is quite considerable. I know that a number of the hotels and so on pick up the English language, and I hope to goodness someone can understand it, particularly when I get carried away with too much in the way of fast talking. Well, we're heading in towards Amiens with a beautiful cathedral there. It's 145 metres long. It's one of the beautiful Gothic edifices of France, a tremendous spectacle, where they also have a Salon et Lumière, and it looks like yet again Amiens is going to have one of these sprint finishes for which it is noted. Well, still Carotto towing this young lad along with him, Peloton, the two of them. Now he's easing back and saying, come on, your turn to have a bit of a burst on the banjo, and he's done just that. Well, the Italians having quite a reasonable tour as far as they're concerned. Cipollini having taken that sprint and putting him up into equal position on time with Nelson. Are they going to persist for this one? All the rest, another rider coming up as well. It's all hammer and tongs, and everybody hanging on for grim death for this one. They're really in the kilometer. Going on the fastest stage we've had so far. I'm not quite sure if it's going to be the fastest of the tour ever, because that is what, let's see, 48.92 kilometers an hour from Tarbes to Pau by Van der Aarden. So Museo's come up to mark these two as well. So Museo now joined up with Carotto and Peloton. Well, it's all eyeballs out. Brunel also on the attack, and this leading group splitting and going hammer and tongs for the finish. The big bunch of riders here still looking to maybe console and consolidate their positions, I should think, because the little escaping group down the road has been going rather quickly, and my co-commentator and friend Paul Daw, of course, pointed out that if these two are equal at the end of it, it's going to be the tenths of the seconds, 100 of seconds, that win the clock at the end of the start of the first stage. Now, unfortunately, all our records are rounded up to the nearest second, but they'll go back, the judges, Paul says, to try and find out what was the tenths of the second. So I fear that, unfortunately, I don't actually have that piece of information here. So again, sackcloth and ashes. This is not a good day. It isn't the 13th by any chance of it. So we'll have to wait to see what the officials come up with. And that's a good point from Paul, that if the two are equal, we've got to go right the way back to the prologue time trial to split them. Well, let's hope, I suppose, to stop all egg on face, that these three are caught and the thing comes together, and either Nelson or Cipollini manage to get one of the bonuses at the end of it all, because there's 20 seconds for first man across the line, then there's 12 for second and 8 for third place. So they're level pegging right now, and bar those tenths and hundredths of a second that Paul Daw was talking about, and when they get there, then if they catch this little lot and the sprinters can have it all their own way, then you will all have it resolved before your very eyes, and there'll be no problems as far as deciding who's got the yellow jersey and the green one. But we'll wait and see. There's still some distance yet to go, and the roads are going to be very much like this all the way along. The crowds turn out. Look how the sun has bleached the wheat now, and it's ready to start harvest time here in this part of the world. Very flat lands, known to many of the British people who go thundering down towards Paris on the way out from the ports, because we've gone right the way across the main roads which lead down towards Paris. And when we get to Amiens, it's about as far north as we're going this year before we head off to the next start at Peron, which is almost equal across on the longitude or latitude, whichever way it is on the globe. globe, and then we'll start heading back down south. Missed that. I was just flicking over on my radio to pick up that microphone, and they were talking to Jean-Marie Leblanc about the yellow jersey. Well, I say I banged my other button to pick up the radio message coming through, and all these modern electronics are great things. I just missed it, but in fact it has been picked up by one of my colleagues in production to say that in fact it will be the green jersey position, the points position, which will decide where the yellow jersey goes. It won't be on the split back seconds to the prologue time trial, but on the points position in the race, and that will mean that at the moment Nelson is leading on the points part of the competition. That's the green jersey company. Although you see, this is where it gets confusing. Hang on, sit down, take a deep breath and listen to this. That if you've seen Cipollini riding in green jersey, he's not the leader on the points. Nelson this morning was leader on points and on time, so he had the yellow jersey and the green jersey. Well, he can't wear two, so what they do always to keep the publicity going and to honour the man who's second place, they pass the green jersey down to the man who's second on points. So Cipollini, who sprinted and got those 2 seconds bonus just down the road, start this morning with 122 points. Nelson start this morning with 143 points, and so that is the way in which they will split them. That'll be based on points. Now I'm going to dig here deep into my little book of words. You'll excuse me while watching Brunel in action here, because I'm now going to confuse you more and tell you how many points can be won at the end of the stage with 8 kilometres to go. It may be all, of course, irrelevant if they all get caught and one of the two lads thunders into the front. But on a flat stage like this, with only 13 seconds for Brunel, the points that are allocated as the riders go across the line, they vary, by the way, depending on the course, whether it's a mountain course or whether it's a flat course. And on the étape en ligne de plat, which is one of these, that's a flat stage, 35 points for first, 30 for second, then 26, 24, and so on down to the 25th rider, who will get 1 point. Now, Cipollini start out this. Whoops, let's go back in. Well, I'm getting conflicting information here in the other ear that in French, through a loud microphone that's blowing in the wind from Jean-Marie Blanc, they were in fact talking about the split on the time on the prologue stage. So, well, just talk amongst yourself a minute. I'll try and pick up what's going on. And my other co-colleagues as well from another French station are now busily trying to find the classement on the first day to see how they were on the tenths and so on. Well, I'm still here trying to listen what's going on, by the way. If you think I've gone off for a quick cup of tea, I'm watching the race with bated breath, because I've never seen one like this before, and all the others I've been on the tour where we're trying to sort out down to tenths of seconds. Well, I'll let them sort that one out and go back to it later on. So it isn't points and it's going to be time. I can throw away this book here because I was saying 35 points for the first man and 30 for the second. Because I was trying to work out that what would happen if Nelson didn't score a point, which is highly unlikely, and Cipollini won the stage. He would, of course, have got himself 35 to make 150, 157. He could have taken the green jersey, but I think somehow that Cipollini and Nelson are going to come in pretty close together on the sprint, and therefore it won't be the bonifications then for the day's stage, but that time back to the prologue. Well, we shall have to wait with bated breath for the end of it. I hope we haven't got anywhere to go important, and you can sit with me and wait for the official announcement to come at the end of this one. And who'll be a cycle race commentator? No, put your hands down. No, Fignon down there alongside another 2 times winner of the Tour de France, Indurain, weighing number 1. Fignon, twice winner of the Tour, winner also of the Tour of Italy, and of course Fignon having just won it once, but Indurain having won it twice, in fact 2 times on the trot. And this man Brunel, we've neglected Johan, and I'm glad to see him back in action. He had to sit out the Tour de France last year with injury, and he was very concerned not to be riding last year, but he's done a fine ride so far this year. And the Once team are doing just the right thing, I think, by throwing somebody like him up in front right now, and still this chasing group are going after him. So Brunel hanging on towards the end. He might still get this particular one, but there's only a few seconds in it, and the hammer could still come down from behind. There, Gerasso on the front, being Johan Mazeo, a previous chap has been challenging for the green points jersey in the Tour de France, winner of stage victories in the Tour as well, is on the front, but he is really in there riding for GBMG, I think, to stop Nelson picking up maximum points on the way through. He's just got to be there marking out and working virtually to team orders. So then, another attack on the far side? No, it isn't. They're just rolling along at the moment, and Johan Brunel, well, whatever the rules are, by the way, Nelson has been confirmed from the officials on the race that in fact he is in the lead. Well, we know he's in the lead on points, so presumably he also went a sniff faster in the time trial. Whichever way round it is, take your pick. He is in the lead at the moment, so Cipollini has to take a place ahead of him in the sprint if he's going to take the yellow jersey off him. Equal on time, but still split on the rules and regulations. Brunel here might well find himself taking the 20 seconds for first place, the way he's going on right now. Johan Brunel, winner of a stage in the Tour of Spain last year, winner of a stage in the Semaine Catalan this year, and the crowd really roaring their approval then. There's a lot of Belgians out to cheer him on his way through. And these three still trying to get him inside. There you can see the cathedral in the distance, that enormous cathedral I was talking to you about, 145 metres long, and the tower is 42.5 metres high. That vast Gothic edifice is ahead of this rider ploughing on in now. 35th in the 91 Tour de France, 17th the year before that, looking to get his first stage victory ever. Winner of the Grand Prix of Frankfurt in 91. This is a great star rider we're watching now, Brunel, and I think he's just showing his greatness, and as far as Once is concerned, this just gives some idea of their strength in depth. A disappointing day for their main competitor Banesto for overall honours, because they've got 2 men grovelling off the back and lost a man this morning as well. So Brunel then still looks like it might make it, because these 3 men haven't got him yet in sight. They're threading their way through the town. They swing a sharp right up the Boulevard de Pasteur, then a big left swinger as they head down the finishing straight of the Boulevard de Beauville. They go across the River Somme, and on both sides then past the 2 big ponds of de Revier and de Saint-Pierre, and the crowd have come out in enormous numbers. 8 times the Tour has been here to Amiens. My good friend Rudy Altig, I said, must really be reliving the day when he won a stage victory here. But this one looks like a lone, long ride and a well-timed performance by Johan Brunel, because he's still not, the chaser still not got him in sight. So that could be first place over and done with. They're looking back now to see where the pack has gone, so all the bonuses could in fact be taken by the one rider in front. And there, Johan Brunel just giving a little move forward and saying, go on, you can move on through Perron. And there, with 2 kilometres to go, Well, still he's not inside. If he is inside, I think they could get him, but this is a superb, smooth pedalling performance by Johan Brunel of the Onthe team. Looking back here, just saving that little moment to see what sort of gap he's got, and looks like it could be okay. Going along here, the lovely woods on both sides, in this lovely park by the parallel road to the Boulevard Jules Verne, and there's no space age story about this one. It's just sheer hard guts on bicycles, and look at the big grip coming up behind these three men. So still 12 seconds and 8 seconds will be in balance if they get caught. Brunel might win the stage, but it's eyeballs out and everybody going for it here. 31 seconds it is, so it could be in fact that Brunel will get the stage, but who will get the bonus is the second and third as Lamprey begin to lead out now. Abdul-Japarov will be searching for yet another victory here, and it looks like Marco Lietti for him at the moment on the front. This man on his own then with 1 kilometer to go. The action behind is in the battle for second and third place, and perhaps those chasers don't know that one man's gone away. Often they miss a one lone breakaway, they snaffle the chasers, sit up and think they've done it, and here they go. They're looking back down. There's three-man Cordato on the front, then Perron, and then Museo will not aid this one at all because he knows he's in a good position, Museo here. If Cipollini gets up to him, then Cipollini's got a great lead out man because Museo's one of the fastest men on two wheels, but Perron says no, I'll still hang on in and try and get this second place. And look at the bunch coming up, but Brunel's going to get it, and behind the drama's being fought out for those vital 12 and 8 seconds bonus. They're hanging on for grim death. He slightly goes uphill towards the finish, but Brunel looks like he can make it. But behind, where are the second and third man? Yes, they've been caught. Those three men have been caught, and as Brunel rides triumphantly in now towards the finish, I'm certain he's going to get it with 400 metres to go. Brunel on his own. Watch out for the yellow jersey of Nilsson, the green jersey of Cipollini. They're going to be fighting for this, but also a desperate attempt by Abdul-Japarov to get past them as well. The big hitters will be coming through. Ludwig still hasn't been better than fourth in the sprint either. Capio from Belgium at TVM is heading towards Belgium. He'll want a good place as well. So as Brunel, the Belgian rider, comes in here for Onthe team, he's got the victory in behind. They're pushing and shoving on the base. Jalabert, there goes Abdul-Japarov in the centre. He's right in the centre. Cipollini on the left-hand side of him. The yellow jersey's out of it. Yellow jersey's further back. It looks like Cipollini might get the bonus and take the yellow jersey. Abdul-Japarov. Fly out, Cipollini. Abdul-Japarov. Whatever it was, the yellow jersey is going to go to Cipollini. Oh, what a sprint. Now, whether he was second or third is immaterial. He's gained time on Nilsson in that sprint by getting the bonus, either 12 or 8 seconds. We'll get a view from the side and we'll see what it was. Well, oh, what a sprint. Here we go. Armstrong on the front. Abdul-Japarov comes up to him. Abdul-Japarov nearly takes Shandri with him because Armstrong working lead out for Shandri. Shandri then has to jump onto Abdul-Japarov's wheel. Cipollini comes through off the wheel of one of the Gatorade riders. That certainly wasn't his normal lead out rider whatsoever, but Cipollini found a welcome wheel and he got on it. Further back you can see Capio for TVM trying to stay with him, but Cipollini has got this one stitched at the moment, and if he stays there that's 12 seconds bonus. Front view made it a bit tighter when Abdul-Japarov came off Cipollini's wheel. Let's see what happens when they hit the line now. Brunel was home and dry in first place. Abdul-Japarov searching for second, and Cipollini throws his bike at the line as Abdul-Japarov comes up to them, and I think he's going to get second place. Whoa! Well, that was a Nat Swiska job, wasn't it? You see, sprinters, you young lads watching this one, Cipollini was so full of himself. He normally is. They call him Il Magnifico, by the way, because he's, you know, he's so, well, yeah, a bit of a big head, I suppose, but he's got a reason to be. 16 wins last year. Brunel comes in now, and what he did, when this chap's got plenty of time to throw his hands in the air and say, hey, I've won, look at me here, great, brilliant ride. But Cipollini did what so many sprinters have done. They take the hands off the bars, look, his arms go up, and Abdul-Japarov is still powering for the line. He's still going faster than Cipollini, and as they get to the line, has he powered enough? Watch this. Oh, there was about a tire in it. And see, that's the way to sprint. Abdul-Japarov has still got his head down. Take a lesson from that one. Cipollini nearly lost himself. 4 vital seconds in that one. Here comes confirmation. In fact, they've got him still in second. They did just get it, but that time for Evreux-Amiens was only like a tar's distance between the two. It could have been reversed. It could have been still the yellow jersey of Cipollini, but that with Capio behind coming up too, he wasn't in with a shout. But you can never ever relax until you've crossed the line. I'm sorry I'm lecturing about this, but I felt about this for many years, and I've seen races lost in the past when people have thrown their arms up and somebody's still going like a train, comes straight. Look at this one, Evreux-Amiens. This is the telephoto lens. It makes it look them closer than they are, but the yellow jersey is out of contention. He's got no lead-out man, by the way. There isn't a no male rider left. They've all blown a gasket, getting that leading group back. There's nobody with him at all. Well, yesterday Cipollini complained he was on his own and hadn't got anybody to lead him out. Well, this time Nelson had no lead-out man at all. And this magnificent old cathedral then, the town of Amiens, the capital of Picardy. 8 times we had the Tour de France here in the past, and some great sprint finishes have been seen here. Well, the sprint this time was not so much for first, but for second place, and what a sprint it was. So what we were worried about when Nelson and Cipollini would finish in the end was lost when those 3 men were absorbed just in those final 500 metres. And so here we go then, the confirmation general classification then. Nelson now 12 seconds adrift from Cipollini. That was the bonus that Cipollini got for his second place. Brunel has moved up to third place, 30 seconds down in all the hectic watching for first and second. I missed how well he jumped up the classification. Now look, those 3 men, by the way, Brunel, Jalabert and Zuller, are all for the Once team. So they've not only got a stage victory today, but also they've got 3 men nicely poised as well on general classification. The strength of this Once team this year has been significant. Even in the team time trial, when they had the misfortune to puncture, they still finished in second place, and one can only wonder what would have happened if they'd not had those misfortunes to puncture in the team time trial. And if they can just hang on to their strength, there are a lot of young riders here. Benestos seem to be cracking a bit. This is going to be a great Tour de France. I say that every year, I know, but there's so many opportunities here for riders to shine, and the people we expected to win. Here we are. Brunel, Cipollini, that's confirmation then of the gap, 13 seconds. Of course, he got 20 seconds bonus as well, Brunel, so that was 43 seconds bonus as far as he was concerned. And he started this morning in 6th place, 51 seconds down. That's why I pushed him right up near to the yellow jersey at the top. And lovely view of the cathedral. I say it's another place where they have these sono lumiere. They illuminate the cathedral and play music and have actors coming on stage. Well, here on stage, another actors. We haven't seen much of the mountain climbers so far, but David Cassani, who is stage victor in the Tour de France for Aristide, keeping that polka dot jersey. He took the first to climb after 3 kilometres ahead of Simon and Doywa. By the time that they came down the other side, the breakaway group of Durand, Bauer and Van Thelle went away, and so at 37 kilometres they took all the major points anyway, but he done enough to keep the polka dot jersey, sponsored this year by Champion, and it was a Champion performance then, but the hills come a bit thick and fast and steeper, and we're going to get down into the Alps next week, and by then trouble will start, I suppose. They have trouble at Tramiel then, because on Wednesday the 14th of July, appropriately Bastille Day, we're going to launch the riders from Viedans to Sur Chevalier, 204 kilometres, and I tell you that's a tough old climb. So here are the flatlands of northern France ahead of the riders, some really stiff climbing. That today, 10th stage of the Tour, we hit the mountains. They're going over the Col de Glandon, which is 1,900 metres above sea level, the Col de Telegraph and the Col de Galibier. And those 3 big climbs ahead of them. Well, the big hitters now are going to have their moment of glory, and we wish them the best of luck when we get to the hill. But now in yellow, Cipollini was upset to lose the jersey yesterday by 2 seconds when he couldn't get the right lead out. Well, today, with every man for himself once they pulled back that 3-man group in second place, and he got it in fine style. Again, he chose somebody else to follow through. His teammates were a bit cooked, but Museo done the work, I think, earlier on. And there, Cipollini in yellow, back in yellow again. It's been changing shoulders, this yellow jersey. Indurain had it after the time trial, and he kept on day 1. Nelson took it on 2 and 3. Cipollini took it back on stage 4. Nelson got it back yesterday. Cipollini's got it back now. And in fact, a lovely little cartoon in L'Equipe a couple of days ago of the yellow jersey, it was like riders leaping over and jumping on and off the podium, and it was saying about the yellow jersey changes, because a bit like sort of musical chairs. Well, it's musical chairs at the moment. Cipollini back in yellow then, and that Italian rider, 49 victories to his success so far. Just 12 seconds ahead of those 3 men, as I said earlier, from Once, hovering behind him. Well, Nelson Cipollini, I'm not going to be very concerned with the overall classification. Jalabert, I think, might be interested in the green. He climbs better than Cipollini and Nelson, but you never know with these fellas. Once they realise there's a chance of maybe taking the green jersey, if they lose the yellow, then they'll certainly stay in there and ride themselves up the mountain the best they can do. But Cipollini now in the yellow jersey, and we're going off then for the next stage tomorrow. That's going to be from Peloton to Champs-sur-Marne, and the stage tomorrow, that'll be on the Saturday, be live again for you on Eurosport from Peloton to Champs-sur-Marne. That's 199 kilometres. I suspect, again, it's a fairly flat course. You might well see a sprint like this one, but that's what's enlivened the tour so far. We've seen lots of sprint action. We've seen some good stuff down the road as well, so we hope you'll tune in tomorrow afternoon to watch our coverage on Eurosport. And don't forget, we do have highlights of the day's racing as well. So all the cycling action here on your #1 satellite channel. I'm just flicking through my program here. 3 till 5, I think it is. Yes, that's Central European time tomorrow. And he gets a green jersey as well by Vertek, because he got 35 points. Yes, he did. I remember doing the sums earlier on about what he would get, and I thought that possibly he might in fact be able to head Nelson if Nelson wasn't in the top 4 place. Well, he's got it. He's got 2 jerseys for his trouble now, and perhaps a telephone number of the lovely ladies on his right and left. You never know with Cipollini. What a character. Well, that's what cycling needs. Plenty of character. This fellow has shown us yet again the Tour de France that the sprinters have had their moments of glory. They'll be back in action tomorrow. We'll be back on air with Eurosport, bringing you the best of the Tour de France. I do hope you'll join us for more all-out action as the lads fight their way around this, the 80th Tour de France. For me and our Tour de France team, it's time to say goodbye.